Well, hello, stream. I told you I'd wear my Halloween costume for you guys. I don't know how this sounds. Probably bad. But, yeah, I figured I'd show it to you. It's very difficult to, you know, kind of keep on my face because I can't see. Because, as you guys know, I wear glasses. And, it is what it is. The problem is, whenever I, like move my head down, it hits my chest, the helmet. So it kind of gets all goofy, but... yeah, I'm not gonna wear this for that long in the stream, the helmet specifically, but yeah, I also gotta readjust it. But I figured I'd show you guys what I'm wearing for Halloween, and all that. I'm gonna take the helmet off now, just because I can't like interact with stream or anything. But I figured I would show it to you guys. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna put my glasses on. I also can't put the hood up when I'm in the actual like helmet, so the helmet's kind of an issue, but it's kind of not. I don't know. Holy cow, I still can't see. I still can't see the fucking chat. Hold on. Hold on, lads. It's a bumpy start to this stream. Hold on. I can't get the other glove on. Okay. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. I can't see chat with this, like, face mask on, so we're just gonna do one of these. We're gonna just... hold on. Saying, fuck the face mask. We'll just kind of... you guys saw it. You guys saw it. You guys saw it. Hi, Jesse. Hi, Ghost. Okay, Ghost. Here's the thing. My bed technically is made, right? If you look at the actual, like, mattress, it is made. It's just I have blankets that... giving me shit all the time. Hi, Matthew. How are you? Hi, Mar. How are you? I do not know what is happening in Palestine, Mar. And the Witch King is now dead? The Witch King is deceased. Okay, here's the thing, right? I don't know why I do this, but I pick the most, like, illogical Halloween costumes of all time. Like, last year, I did, Darth Maul, right? So if you guys want to see my Darth Maul, I think it's on the YouTube, not the YouTube, the, Instagram channel for the channel. But, yeah. And I got face painted, and it was so hard to get off. It was just a pain in the ass. I had a, what do you call it? Head cap or whatever. So it, like, took my hair, and it was, like, black and stuff. But, yeah, so this year I did Witch King, and I still, like, the problem is, it's like, for pictures and stuff, I'll have that on, right? But for no pictures, I'm just gonna be a regular Nazgul. Like, I have a sword, I didn't even show you guys, but it's like, I don't need to get the sword out. But, right now, I'm just a Death Eater. Let's just put it that way. When I don't have the mask on, I'm a Death Eater from Halloween. As Matthew stated, yeah. Hi, Agor, how are you? Hi, Jesse, and thank you. But also, yeah, lads, well, we ain't talking politics. Unless it's a Song of Ice and Fire politics. I will say, I don't keep up with politics anymore. I used to when I was younger. And by younger, I mean, like, a couple years ago. But it's just, I don't know. Politics is so divisive, and it just doesn't do anything good for anyone, I don't think. Amazon is gonna make the MILF's son be the Witch King of Agbar. No. Let's no, just no. Not gonna be in the stream for long, still at work, all good. Next year's costume? Okay, next year's costume is gonna be very simple. Next year's costume is gonna be Robb Stark. And I already have, like... now, I will preference it's gonna be the Robb Stark from the show. Because the Robb Stark from the show, Richard Madden, has black hair. So I can pull it off. Okay? But, yeah. And also, like, just doing a Robb Stark costume outside of, like... I'm not doing where he's in armor or anything. Is very easy to do. And I can just reuse the sword I already have. So, I'm going to be Robb Stark for next year. But, yeah. And thank you, Agor. Thank you. I hope you're having a great day as well, Rivermay. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Okay, this is what I want to know. If you are... Also, here's the gloves. I don't know if I showed them well when I had the mask on, but... If you are going as something for Halloween, whether it's for a party or whatever, you just want to cosplay or something, what are you doing this year? And two, what is your favorite costume you've ever, like, dressed as a kid? Or if you don't, like, celebrate Halloween, what is something you want to cosplay as? Or you would have liked to? Yo, Grease, who is the best Song of Ice and Fire villain, and why is it Euron? Euron's a pretty good one. I would okay, hold on. Who is my favorite in A Song of Ice and Fire? My favorite, I'm going to be completely honest, is probably, like, I like Allison. She's probably my favorite villain when it comes to Fire and Blood. Main story is probably Tywin. Tywin's my favorite villain. Your costume reminds me of the outfit Damon wore when he snuck into Flea Bottom. Well, you got to be, you know, don't bring attention to yourself. And what better way is there not to bring attention to yourself is to wear all black and have a black hood on. Well, Mar, the only thing I can say about that is I am Christian, so. They brought us Game of Thrones, but they fucked it up, making them a villain. What? I'm confused. I'm confused, Matthew. Maybe I missed some context there. Oh, D&D. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right, Matthew. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Young Allison Hightower. Yeah, okay. Waluigi, the best costume when I dressed up was Goku. That sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty cool. Again, I'm not into that, but I know what Goku looks like. Looks pretty sick. Littlefinger, he's my that's a good one. That's a good one. I forgot about Littlefinger. He's a good one. But yeah, I agree. I agree, Matthew. I agree. Sith Lord. Love to see that, Dirty Dan. I did Darth Maul last year. I have the red lightsaber still in there, and it goes really well with this costume. I've thought about, I guess we're having like annual Halloween parties now with my friend group. And I thought about, instead of just using the sword for the Witch King costume, just using my red lightsaber because it would look sick. But D&D are the ultimate villains, both in Song of Ice and Fire and in the real world. Yeah, okay, so since we're doing a Halloween stream, I didn't really preference this because I was dealing with some other stuff. But we're going to be doing for Halloween week, which, again, technically Halloween's not till next week. But this is my Halloween week. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about Euron. We're going to be talking about the others. We're going to be talking about whatever villains you want to talk about. Littlefinger. We can talk about him if you want. The Freys, the Boltons. So that's what we're basically going to be doing, right? I got some videos already up, or not up, but like they're ready for this week more or less. And so, yeah, I'm going to be putting up again. So make sure you're either following the Instagram or the YouTube channel. Okay. Phone, I forgot to silence it. But either way, we will be talking about some of those. So I already put out, again, I haven't recorded the Bolton video, so if you do want to get a question in about the Boltons, I would, go to that community page because I'm going to record that tonight, but that'll be up this week. I'm going to have another thing tomorrow for the Freys and Winds of Winter, so if you want me to talk about that, you can talk about that. By the way, this, like, hood thing, it's really low quality, and it's too big, man. Like, I have a big head, and whose head's gonna fit in this thing? Like, but this is what $20 on Amazon gets you, so. But yeah, so we're gonna be talking about all sorts of things. You know, if you got any questions in chat right now, drop them. This is true, Matthew, this is true. I had a Jango Fett costume as a kid, and it was pretty neat with the blasters. That'd be sick. I always loved Jango Fett. Okay, this is a hot take, but I like Jango Fett better than Boba Fett. But the thing is, I saw Jango first, so I don't know. Hi, Jim. How are you? Hi, Metal. How are you? Best costume I dressed up is Wolverine, not the comic book version. Wait, so what do you mean? Like, are you talking about like the X-Men movies where he's not in his original like Wolverine costume, like the yellow, blue, and then he's got like the things on it? Disney really ruined Boba. Yeah, I mean, my thing with like Boba is like he looks cool, but he didn't really have like he's just one of those like very mysterious characters in the originals where it's like he doesn't really have anything going on. I don't know. In line at Starbucks trying to get some tea, fighting. Oh God. Oh, by the way, I will say, so I got a new tea. Okay, I got a new green tea. I was at Walmart. I was almost out of my tea I have now, and I was like, I was very intrigued by this like blueberry tea. That was a very bad decision. It wasn't great. It was bad, okay? Because I've been for the past like week and a half, because I've wanted to have all the videos done for this week already, because I'm gonna have a very busy weekend and or week. Like I have so many birthdays around this time and just so much going on that I want to have this whole like week's worth of videos done. But the problem was I've been having like throat issues, which is what I have it like every 2 to 3 months. And so I can't really like record until like now. Like this is the best time I felt recording since last stream. Like after last stream, my voice was like completely destroyed. I don't know what was wrong with it, but yeah, I couldn't really like record. So I just now got to recording the reread yesterday, and then I recorded some of the videos for this week today. Yeah, no, yellow, blue, Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Love to see it. Love to see it. That's a pretty cool one. Mine are almost exclusively Star Wars. Like I was Darth Maul once, I was Darth Vader once. Actually, I've been Darth Maul twice now, I guess. But when I was younger, Darth Maul, Darth Vader, I was Revenge of the Sith, Anakin. Was like a dragon. I was a dragon when I was like 5, so that was pretty cool. But yeah. All right. So, I want to hear your guys' opinions because again, I haven't recorded this video yet, so I'd love to hear the community's opinions. What do you think the others want? Like, what do you think their purpose is in the story? Like, do you think they're trying to repopulate? Like, do you think that because of the sacrifices, that's how they live on and can continue to grow as a community? Like, or do you think it's one of these things where they are their own entity and are requiring like they're kind of viewing themselves as the godly figures? Like, if you look at like Greek mythology, people that read Percy Jackson, the one thing is with like the gods, they require like sacrifices, not sacrifices, but like donations, I guess, type stuff. So is it something like that where they are requiring some of that? Like, what do you think their point is? And there's also this thing where it's like, it seems like the others have this power when it comes to ice and the cold. Well, the wall is quite literally made out of ice. Like it kind of comes off as very. How would this wall that apparently is being made to go against like the wildlings, the others? That doesn't really make sense. It feels like the others would have had something to do with the wall, but I don't know. No Kylo Ren. See, I just don't like the sequels. I just don't. I think Kylo Ren looks cool, but I don't know. See, I'm sorry, seeing you that costume makes me want to scream about Cadabra. Well, do it. You won't. What if it's nothing like in the show? I feel like that'll be a really big letdown because it's like, why like build them up to be this kind of like this higher entity, like they're kind of their own type of race, right? Like the first chapter, the others are able to communicate with themselves. They seem like a higher intelligence. They understand emotion. They are straight up taunting Waymar Royce. So it feels like they have some purpose outside of just being like this zombie force that's just trying to kill humanity. Like, I feel like there has to be something more than that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I don't know, there has to be something there. And you look at like the Night's King, not the show version that I used in the thumbnail, not that one. And you look at them, it's like, okay, he was more or less going with, or, you know, having sex with a White Walker. It seems very suspicious. Like, that's the thing, Jesse, is like, it's so weird because we get this introduction of like Crasters. It's like the others don't kill Crasters for a lot of reasons. One of those is because, okay, well, why would you kill him if you can constantly be getting, whether that's new animals, whether that's new like babies, whether that's whatever, right? You wouldn't just kill that source off because now you don't have those things, so Craster's able to live. So it tells you that they at least have, they put some importance on those things. Do they like being worshipped as like gods, like I was talking about? Do they need these things to survive? Are they trying to make more of them for whatever reason? Like, I don't know. Also, thank you for subscribing. Our Gen Gamma. Hope I said that right. Do you think the others will make it to the God's Eye? No. I really think that if we are going to have like this massive battle that ends it all, I think it's definitely going to be at like the Trident area. Now maybe we do get to the God's Eye, but I think it's going to be like, I personally see our forces of good like meeting up around Moat Cailin, or at least in that Riverland area. So it could be the God's Eye, you know, like you're suggesting, because that's just where all of our characters are. It's the meeting place. We've been like shown this through every single conflict. The place that we meet up is in the Riverlands. So I think that is where everything is going to kind of go down. But yeah, no, so Dirty Dan, I think they have to, right? I don't think this is going to be like the show where it's contained to just the north. Because the problem's going to be, okay, if it's just contained to the north, you're going to see a lot of people react like how they did when, say, the Wildlings were attacking the wall, or the Greyjoys were invading the north, where it's just like, okay, well, let the north deal with it type situation. If they start getting to the Riverlands, well, now it's much more personal. It's a lot closer to the Westerlands. It's a lot closer to the Vale. It's a lot, you know, closer to the Crownlands. You kind of have to take that seriously. The others will definitely make it to Winterfell. That's where they'll, yeah, I agree. And I think it would be a great chapter to end out the whole, like, story. You know, or not the whole story, but the whole Winds of Winter story, with Stannis kind of having this sacrificial moment, trying to defend the North and giving his life. You know, I think that'd be really cool. Yes, Haley, I showed my whole Halloween costume earlier, but I am going as the Witch King or a Nazgul. I just don't have my like face mask on, and on my like mask on. It's like right there. Right there. It's in a weird spot because it's like I can't really go off camera that far, but yeah. Also, I'm going to be honest, guys, I just like the villains more. I just do. They're just cooler. They're just cooler. Like, man, I would love to get the Witch King's like little mace thing, just like, but like, it's just so more, it's way more expensive to get that than just like a sword. Winterfell will be where the others take a dub. I 100% agree. I think Winterfell. And another thing, I mean, if you think about it, like, are the others and the Starks like connected? Like, it just seems very suspicious that the Starks seem like they are prone to not being, or they're more adaptive to the cold than so many other people. So, like, you see that with, like, the Targaryens and the dragons and their connection with, like, heat, for instance. It just, there seems like there's way too many similarities with the Starks and the others that it makes it, I don't know, makes it very interesting to me. Do you have any arguments for why to empathize with King Daemon Blackfyre and or House Blackfyre in general? I get into a lot of arguments and I don't want to be repetitive and don't want to be too repetitive. I would say, okay, I'm gonna take these gloves off since they're not on screen, but Yeah, my hands are getting a little toasty. Let me recollect my thoughts. All right. So, here's what I'll say with that. I think if you're going to support the Blackfyres, right, you have to come to a couple conclusions to justify it. One, that again, Daeron is not the true king, right? He was a bastard. He wasn't actually Aegon the Fourth's. Okay? So that is the first thing you kind of have to believe if you're going to be sympathizing with Daemon, right? And the biggest thing I think with Daemon is if you're Daemon Blackfyre, you're you know going through life, people are always around you. You're surrounded by people telling you, yeah, Daeron's a bastard. You're the rightful heir. You're the best swordsman. And so you have to take into account his upbringing and the situation that he was kind of put into, right? It's similar in a way to Aegon II, where Aegon II, his entire life is being told he's the one that should be the king. He's the male heir. Rhaenyra is a woman. She can't sit the Iron Throne, and that all of her children are bastards. It's the same type of thing, right? And so you can sympathize a lot with Daemon because, once again, of the way he was brought up, the situation he was put into, right? And especially with people around him like Bittersteel, you kind of come to this situation where when all of this is kind of breaking out, and you also are even given this validation, right? All of those things are validated when Aegon IV gives him the sword, Blackfyre. You now have the Conqueror's sword. Everything kind of leans towards you being validated in your own beliefs, right? It's this idea of, I forget what it's called. It's, I don't know. I don't remember what the philosophical term for it is, but it's like personal bias, or it's some sort of like bias term where it's like what you believe will be confirmed by like, things you want to believe, right? So when Daemon gets the sword, he's already going to be thinking, wow, this legitimizes me as the next king, right? And so the argument for somebody that would not agree with that, right, that maybe has a different bias is going to be, well, no, Aegon IV just gave away things even though they were important, and he didn't think about the consequences. He wasn't a smart guy. That's kind of the different arguments. But here's the difference, Matthew, right? Is that if Daeron was a bastard, Daeron doesn't come from Aegon's line, right? He comes from the Dragon Knight's line. That's a whole different thing. So, I think you would look at that and you go, okay, well, if he is Nerys and the Dragon Knights, well, he's out of the line of succession for the most part, because now we're going to start going down, okay, who are Aegon's children? And then you would start going down to, again, Daemon. At one point, Bittersteel, there was a chance he could have had the throne. So that's the way I would rationalize empathizing with the Blackfyres, or Daemon specifically. If you want to look at House Blackfyre, I mean, think about it like this, right? Their entire lineage was exiled because of the actions of, like, Daemon, for instance, right? Like, even if you were a Blackfyre and say you didn't want the throne, you're always going to be viewed as a threat to the Targaryens, to anyone on the Iron Throne. So I think you look at that and you go, you know, that's not what every Blackfyre would have wanted. And especially when you look at the Targaryens are already off the throne, at this point of the story, they have a rightful claim to it. If they can win it by conquest, who's going to stop them, right? So I think there is a lot of ways you definitely should be able to sympathize with the Blackfyres. Not saying you should maybe support them over the Targaryens, but I definitely like it. The Night's King equals Brennan the Builder. I could see that. I think that's a pretty cool theory, actually. Joffrey is a monster villain, which I guess makes him a fantastic... Yeah, he's a fantastically written villain. Fantastic. I think the final fight in King's Landing where Aegon's Dream of the Others meets the end. Okay, that'd be cool. You are a regular Nazgul now? That is true. I am a regular Nazgul now. Technically, I could still be the Witch King from Fellowship, because the Witch King in Fellowship doesn't, like, have a crown on or anything. My brain is running on half capacity because of lack of sleep. Well, yeah, it's because you're looking at your phone at like 3 a.m. and you're complaining about why you can't sleep. Matthew, you're a disturbed individual. You're out here like, I can't sleep, but yeah, you're looking at your phone. Like, you have no excuses. Also, while we're in the middle of this kind of like, a little tangent here, my streak of like 20-0 in the Grease Goblins Fantasy Football League, this dating back to last year, is on the line today. I need George Kittle to pull up his britches, and I need him to just, he doesn't even have to go off, right? He needs like to get like 12 points, and then like the San Francisco 49er kicker to get like 6 or 7. Like, that's not really asking for a lot, but I need it, okay? This is not the day. Next year we will already have Wins of Winter, so you can dress up as one of the new 20 POVs. Maybe. Maegor is pretty great. Yeah, he was cruel, but a necessary evil to get respect on the Targaryens. I agree. I mean, here's the thing, right? Maegor is someone that I wouldn't even deem as being evil until a bit later in his life. I would say, like, Visenya was almost the balancing factor of his cruelty and evil like stuff, and then once she died, it kind of all came out. But thank you. I've gotten into like 3 in the past. Well, don't respond, Agor. If there's one thing I've learned from running a YouTube channel, is when you get those comments that are just like, they're just, the people that send them are literally just, oh, I want to complain, or I want to just be rude for no reason. You either don't respond, or these are my favorites. When I respond in like a very like classy tone and then disrespect them at the same time. I like doing that. It's fun. The memes were too good. No, you just put the memes down. Also, I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree with Andrew. I don't know about next year on Winds of Winter. Like, we haven't gotten an update from George in like 3-4 months, and I don't know, it doesn't give me the vibes like he's close to releasing it. So yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't know. Winds of Winter's never coming out. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that opinion. George hasn't written squat for wins in 2023. I mean, we'll probably never know, but like, yeah, I mean, I can't hate on that. I'm calling it Visenya put a magic spell on Maegor before her death. But why, though? Like, why? We haven't gotten an update since House of the Dragon. So, okay, Andrew, that's just not true. Like, we literally did get an update of how far he, like, said he was, like, in the middle of the summer, I think. We won't see this book for another 5 years, optimistically. That's possible. You should all check out the Preston Jacobs fanfic project. It's pretty good. Okay. I still haven't checked it out, but that is true. Check is not a blog. I mean, I did like a month ago, but you may be right. Maybe I'm misremembering. It is probably the only dreams of spring we will ever get. That's true. What do you think of the Dunkin' Egg show? So, I actually really like the idea of a Dunkin' Egg show. This is my thing, right? I think they need to release it at the right time. Like, if House of the Dragon does well, right? And you bring a lot of the fan base back to A Song of Ice and Fire, for the TV shows anyway, you can kind of do more of a small scale story like Dunkin' Egg, even though it has like massive moments in it, which I guess I won't spoil, but I think it has everything it needs to be a great story. Like, for instance, what made Mandalorian great, I guess in the first season, is kind of what Dunkin' Egg would be, but just with better like dialogue, I think better characters, better world building and all that. Oh my god, Andrew, you are devoted. But yeah, I'm excited for a Dunkin' Egg show. But yeah. I am a little sketched out with the idea of like, say the Dunkin' Egg show comes out and we never get any more Dunkin' Egg novellas. Like, it's going to be weird because then it's like, okay, you're basically making up your own story like, you have an outline of, like, historical events that need to happen, like, so you know Summerhall is gonna happen. You know Aegon's gonna become king. You know certain things are gonna happen. But at the same time, it's like that map of how to get there, it's like you're almost basically creating it yourself, but we need to do, oh god, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But if they do a Dunk and Egg show first, it kind of messes up a chance to do a Daemon Blackfyre show. I mean, yes and no, because I think you still could, but I definitely see your point there. Not sure how they'll do the show. They could stretch out each novella to 3 episodes, but I'm not sure they could stretch out each novella for a complete season. I think that's a great point. I don't know how you would expand everything, given, again, you're going to have to basically make it up yourself. So, I don't know. Here's what I'll say, Andrew, on the Benioff Condal like statement. I think Benioff is a better adapter of material that we already have. Okay? I think Condal is better at, like, filling in the gaps, right? Like, say what you want about what House of the Dragon did. Game of Thrones was absolutely dog shit once they were making their own story. And we can't even say, like, they were good adapters, because they didn't adapt Feast for Crows and Dance that well either. So, like, I don't even know if that's a true statement. Yes, Josh, spooky hoodie. I'm supposed to be a Nazgul, but, like, I couldn't keep all the things on for stream because I can't read chat. So, you know. The Witch King helmet is, hold on, right there. But, yeah. Unless they expand House of the Dragon into the Blackfyre Rebellion and run it just before Dunk and Egg. Yeah, that's true. My thing, though, is, like, Matthew, the thing is, like, what are you, like, worried about that Dunk and Egg is going to spoil for the Blackfyre Rebellion? Like, a Blackfyre Rebellion show, it's like anyone going into the show that has any, like, knowledge of a Game of Thrones or any knowledge of it knows the Blackfyres aren't going to win, because the Targaryens are on the throne after. So the only thing it's, like, spoiling is if you do, like, the Dunk and Egg is, like, certain events that happen during it, but I don't know. George R. R. Martin is also more heavily involved with Condal on House of the Dragon than he was with D&D on Game of Thrones. Yeah, I agree. I mean, here's the thing. George R. R. Martin was pretty heavily involved early on in Game of Thrones, but the Dementor, oh boy. Yeah. And just another Harry Potter one, of course. I was going for Death Eater earlier, but, you know. Feast and Dance are very hard to adapt. Yeah, I mean, they're harder to adapt than the first 3 books, but they're not, like, that hard, in my opinion. Like, I quite literally, like, I'm not a writer. I don't get paid to do these things. I wouldn't even say I'm a very good writer, but I quite literally mapped out exactly how you do that book in, like, 2 things, and it makes way more sense than what they did. When they had time to plan shit, they adapted season 1 flawlessly. I mean, yeah, I mean, I agree. I won't argue with that. But then you get to season 5, and they had time, right? Like, they had time to adapt. Like, the thing is, right? Season 5 and 6, like, should have been planned out by season 3, season 4. Like, season 1, they had what they wanted planned out in season 3. Like, or season 4. Brienne's shatters and Feast for Crows always make me think of Halloween. They are spooky. That's true. Especially when you get deeper into her chapters. Like chapter 3 and onwards. D&D could have easily added Fagon to the story. Would not be... Yeah, this is my thing, right? I think they wanted to do the Red Wedding stuff. And, like, kind of the stuff directly after the Red Wedding. And then after that, they stopped caring. But this is my thing, Andrew. They didn't have to do that, right? George R. R. Martin was not the person going, oh yeah, this needs to be 8 seasons. That's the most, or whatever. And HBO seemed like they were fine with doing more seasons. It was D&D that didn't want to do more seasons. So if they weren't lazy and they weren't, you know, just trying to rush things along, what they should have done is you take season 5, what it was in the Game of Thrones, and make it 2 seasons. It's that simple. And then what you do is you go Feast for Crows, dance, and you go, okay, let's find the midpoints. Where are points where it's climaxing in the middle point of the book? So, for instance, you have like all the stuff with the Greyjoy plot. It kind of perfectly climaxes in the middle of the book. Or you have Euron being crowned king. That's your end of season 5. You could have like the end of season 5 being Dany finally gives in to marry like his daughter or something like that. The Arianne plot, you can have Myrcella losing her ear at the midpoint of season 5. Like, it's not like we're making it like seem like it's super hard to do. It's not. It's not. Like, just read the books, find the midpoints of the stories, and then split them in half. You do season 5, season 6. Who would win a 1v1 between Cersei and Dany? Cersei is a bit bigger than Dany. Like, she's starting to get heavy and stuff. So I feel like if they got in a fight, Cersei's punches or slaps would hit harder. And I think Cersei's just got that dog in her, honestly. Fair enough, Matthew. Not sure how involved with directing Condell is, but even excluding the better sets, the camera angles and scene transitions were a lot more tasteful than awkward close-up face shots and GOT. Yeah, I agree with that, Josh. The one thing I'll add, even the actors I think were getting tired of being on the show, which never did make sense to me since they were getting paid so much. So I think it's a mix of you're doing something for so long. And 2, it was, if you just look at where the writing started going for these characters, where their dialogue is, the things they were having to do, I get it. Like, for instance, Tyrion. He didn't have anything really clever or interesting to do or say for, what, 4 seasons? Like, after season 4? Like, Jon was a character that, after Ygritte, kind of started to feel very stale and very one note. So, I mean, I definitely kind of understand why a lot of those actors would not, you know, like doing so. In my opinion, 10 plus seasons wouldn't have worked. I'm not saying to do 10 plus seasons, right? Because all you needed to do was you do probably. So the Feast and Dance would have been 5 and 6. 7 and 8 could have been Winds of Winter. And then 9 and 10, whatever you wanted to make up for that, could have been Dream of Spring. I think you could have done the show in probably 9 to 10 seasons. No Lady Stoneheart arc, or dude, I can't say it. Doom many arcs. Yes, I agree. I think it's just a pivotal, it's just a pivotal point for so many characters like Brienne, Jaime, Arya, Sansa. Ariana and Duran's plot are a treasure trove of material. Still makes me mad how much Dorne gets her. Yeah. It's crazy because it's like that plot line almost seems perfect for Game of Thrones because it has like so many twists and turns with it. But you know, funny how out of all the GOT actors who got big through the show, I only really see Richard Madden having a consistent acting career. I would say Sophie Turner, the actress that plays Sansa. She started getting some big roles, like she was in the X-Men series. I know she was in some other stuff, but you know, I think she kind of got some roles. Peter Dinklage was already big before he even went into Game of Thrones, really. Emilia Clarke, I think, got more roles after. Natalie Dormer was also kind of like big after that, but she also did get big because of the show as well. Peter Dinklage defended the show after it ended, though. Really? He is someone that just like strikes me as like his performance just got worse as the show went on. Like he had the opposite of the Dany effect, right? Like the Dany effect was as the show got worse, she got better as an actress. Like you can tell she grew with the show. Like season 8, for all we want to say about it, her performance was pretty good. Like the emotion she was able to give off without saying a single word She did really good. Yeah, Emilia Clarke. Yeah. Um. Stoneheart versus Cersei. Stoneheart's winning, easy. It's a round 1 KO. See, Ander, I don't know. Like, I think Ryan Connell did a lot of good, and I definitely see your concern given some of the things that he did, but I don't know if I'd go that far. Natalie Dormer, Jason Momoa, good. Yeah, those are good examples. Joffrey's actor stopped acting after the show. People were horribly. Yeah, I that's one of the biggest things, right? Jack Gleason. I watched, I think, probably, well, I don't know. I watched an interview of him, after he got done with the show, and he kind of was talking about that, and he is an incredible actor. It's a shame that he stopped acting. Like, the amount of passion, emotion he was able to give to the performance of Joffrey is one of the best on the show. Like, if I was going to do a top 10 acting, or top 10 characters that were acted on the show, Jack Gleason would probably be really high up there. He did a fantastic job. I always forget the name of the person that played Theon, but he did really well as well. He was probably number 1. Pedro Pascal, it's another good one. Lewin versus Pycelle. Oh. Because there's that scene where Pycelle was like stretching out. He's still a spry young man. And we know that he's, getting it on with some of them handmaidens. So I'm going to go with Pycelle. I think he's a little bit more, a little bit more spry. I don't know, Josh. I don't know. I think so, though. I think you're right on that. Alfie Allen, that's it. That's it. He did a fantastic job. Ander, if they do that, I may cry. I may cry. That might break me if that happened. But yeah. There's a lot of things. That's all I'm going to say. There's a lot of things. All right, lads. I think I'm going to end stream here. I have a lot of stuff I got to do for the channel this week. You guys are getting an extra upload this week, so I hope you guys all enjoy that. There are going to be 5 videos this week out. I was originally not going to do the reread for tomorrow. I was going to, because it's not really the Halloween theme at all, but I decided, might as well, and then I'll just give you guys an extra video. So yeah, where you guys are going to get the reread on tomorrow, and then I think you're going to have, you'll have like basically all 5 uploads in a row. I'll answer this as well. As someone who wants to start reading the books, in which order do you recommend? I've seen multiple. So, okay. I think the best way to digest them on your first read would be, okay, so I don't know if you're talking about the lore books. I would still go with a Game of Thrones, Clash, Storm, and then I would go with, I would read Feast and Dance like side by side. So I would do 1 chapter in Feast, 1 chapter in Dance, and then, yeah, just go all the way down. That's how I would probably read it. I don't know. It gets sketchy, though, when you get to, I guess maybe I would just go Feast and then Dance. It does kind of get sketchy when you get to the end of Dance, because you're going to having plots wrapped up from Feast, but I don't know. I think either way those work. And then after that, then I would read the lore books. I think it's better to read the main series because they're going to be more enjoyable. They're going to get you more into the world. And the lore books, so like Fire and Blood, World of Ice and Fire, they're all nice supplemental content after that. But yes, I'm doing my best, The Advocate. I'm trying. But yeah, we'll see. I will say I do like reading things in chronological. So if you like reading in chronological order, it's just going to be very tough, given that, like, Fire and Blood technically, or not technically, takes place before the main series, but Fire and Blood is not going to be as enjoyable if you've not read the main series, in my opinion. So, I personally would just go the main 5, Game of Thrones, Clash, Storm, Feast, and then Dance, and then do the lore books. You can also read Feast for Crows and Dance like side by side because it's basically 2 books of different POVs, and so you mingle them together to make the timeline a little bit better. But yeah, so thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the videos this week or stream.